brothers and sisters. Right. I'm going to recap on something. I'm going to look at the chemtrail thing again, because the pad what I filled up, like the first pages of it is what I've done with Leon, but I'm going to recap this bit, because of what my new notes and that are. Alright, look, so I've got these ones, and then I started the Voynich manuscript one down there on this, but like I say, it's all harmonic, so it don't matter what I'm reading, as long as I'm like breaking down shit, destroying narratives, raising the frequency, we're sorted, I mean. But I'm going to go through this, because they want me like this. Blank wall, me, that, no, like, it's activation, like, so you can see clearly out of this world, you know what I mean? So, right, chemtrails, one of the first things I said to you way back, like, how many people, like, earns on that? I mean, the slightest bit of bullshit, they just, like I said in the other video, we're not going to go on about it anyway, it's quite forward, can't let no dampers, no low vibrations, because seriously, I mean, this is serious, like I said to you, the more we buzz, the more the process buzzes, because don't forget, everything's being monitored, we're running in flow with the process, it's us, it's all on our shoulders, it's all to do with us, and if certain people on that internet, woke up and smelt the coffee, like, we'd all be in a cushy place, we're all meant to be working together, listen, I don't attack any of you out there for no reason, I told you, like I sees everything. I got, like, don't think just because I don't go on YouTube and BitChute and Telegram, and I knows exactly what they're all doing, what they're going on about. I knows exactly. Don't forget, 520 million of us, plus like us ancient one and the starseeds, right. So, like, what's the rest? We're not. See, that's what I'm saying. Got to think about the numbers, So we're not worried, but I know there's some of my brothers and sisters sucked up amongst all that lot. You got to snap out of it, Stop falling for 3D. I told you. I'll say this one more time. Every single thing what's going on now, beginning to now, is all parasite narrative. They're playing you out, the parasite net. There's nothing good in it. Exactly what they was going to do and fool and get all the people, all their assets on the internet to fool you with and drag you into is just totally insane and evil. And that's why we got to have truthers. We got to have the psychic world. We got to have all them media and so-called channelers and that lot. We got to have them, because they're part of the 3D narrative. What was going to lure you all, But like I said, me and Leon covered like 6 hours on that, like QFS, 15-minute cities, FEMA camps, the lot, and it goes to show you, like there's inserts NPCs within the truthful world, because it's been put on a plate to you who this lot are, right down to Charlie Wall, Jacko, what's his name with a dog, D-Cut, all of them, Simon Putt, they're all part of that agenda, and it's clear, but a lot of them are so money motivated, like so motivated by money and finance and being rich and getting what they're owed, what they think they're all owed. Well, I'm sorry, what's happened to all you lot in this world? There's nothing in existence what could compensate you. The only thing what can compensate you, is having the opportunity to wake your arse up to true reality. Once you're in that true reality, there's your compensation, because you get everything what was took back. And let me tell you, it's a little bit more than finance and religions and your 3D knowledge and narratives here. Yeah, it's all gone. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna run through this one a bit more. Yeah, because do you know what as well? It feels like I've missed pages out where I started at the Voynich manuscript. I started there. I've got loads there to do, right? And but I'm gonna go through that because then I've read the whole pad. Yeah, right. What the chemtrails became after 2016. Up to around this point, the skies were being used in a much heavier parasitic way. Heavy metals, nanobinders, frequency dampeners. When the parasitic control structures started losing hold 2016, the program was slowly flipped over by higher councils, not from this world, loyalised tech teams, white hat specials. The main element. Where's my drink? Oh, Chris, sorry.
But I don't well unorganised, you know.
Oh, sorry. Right, main elements being used now. Monatomic gold, ORMEs. ORMEs. Yeah, that's orbitally rearranged monatomic elements. This helps conductivity, neural frequency upgrade, aura repair. It was used on and around ancient portals and still is in the skies to increase receptivity to solar and galactic signals. Colloidal silver, platinum traces, subtle anti-pathogenic, anti-mold fungus properties on an energetic level, not sprayed as heavy metals, but as micro-ionized fields used to keep certain low-density parasitic forms from anchoring the air grids. Silica crystals, microstructured quartz used as antennae to rebalance electromagnetic fields in the atmosphere. It helps distribute and soften the higher photonic waves coming in. Structured water hydrogen clusters, sprayed to create cloud banks that are actually buffers, frequency buffers. They help prevent burnouts in people's nervous systems as more cosmic plasma enters. Rare earth trace elements, iridium, rhodium, in micro ORME. These stabilise DNA repair frequencies and act as carriers for light encoded information. Why all this is being done? To soften the fracturing as the 3D grid collapses and the higher bands open. To balance the ionosphere so the spikes of the sun ships don't fry electronics and nervous systems. To slowly detox areas of heavy metals and parasitic residues are left from the old spraying program. The old spraying program. I told you, didn't I? I did say to you all that time. Way back, I went, like, when he said, like, we're going to stop Kenzo, we're going to spray him back, this is what he was going on about. Yeah? And, like I say, I always knew anyway, because, like, I could taste the metallic in my mouth up to, like, 2015, just towards 2016, something like that. It stopped. Yeah? Even my Millie once, I was in the garden, we was having a drink, I went, I ain't been getting that metallic taste, Mills, for ages. She went, no, I ain't either. I went, there we go. It's going down, isn't it? Yeah? To keep weather patterns from going chaotic during the solar uptick lift. It's still weather manipulation in the sense of weather steering, but now it's mostly being done to avoid collapse rather than to suppress. The lines in the sky are no longer toxic programs, like I told you all nearly 4 years ago. Longer than that even. They are transition scaffolds. Some of the optics are just persistent contrails. Some are deliberate frequency carriers, but they are not mass murdering or poisoning the population anymore. The fear narrative was just left running to keep the NPCs distracted. The key part above how all this helps the pineal gland. Monatomic gold raises the conductivity of the brain and subtle nervous system, making the pineal more responsive to cosmic frequencies. This is why some feel heightened dreams, intuition, and inner sight when the skies feel clean after these sprays. Yeah. So after they spray, see, like the next day or the day after, and that. This is why Leon started to dream that. Leon don't dream. Leon started to dream, really dream that. Yeah. Colloidal silver plus platinum trace elements work like subtle filters for bioelectric systems. They help reduce heavy metal and electromagnetic noise in the body, which directly benefits the pineal's ability to decalcify and stay active. Structured water vapor with ozone O2 boost hydrates and oxygenates the upper layers of the atmosphere. This is actually absorbed into the air we breathe in and gives the pineal gland more oxygen saturation, which improves melatonin, serotonin balance and makes inner vision clearer, makes all your vision more clearer. Crystalline microparticles, quartz silica based. Micro silica carry encoded light patterns. These are like atmospheric software patches. When inhaled in trace amounts, they help the microcrystalline lattice of the pineal gland resonate with planetary grids other than other overlays, worlds and realms. All of this is aimed at stabilising frequencies during a time of mass awakening and at the same time subtly nudging the biological receivers, especially the pineal gland, back into alignment with cosmic rhythms, tones. This is all connected to the pineal ether grid and the harmonics of the awakening process. ORME, atomic gold, the pineal plus subtle bodies. High spin state. When gold or other noble metals are converted into ORME, their electrons shift to a higher orbital spin. This state makes them act more like a biological superconductor rather than just metal. Resonance with pineal. The pineal gland is a piezoelectric like quartz and reacts strongly to high frequency electromagnetic and subtle fields. ORME acts like the bridge to a higher band widths of consciousness. It amplifies pineal activity, intuitive recall and dream state memory. DNA unfolding. ORME interacts with the phosphate backbone of DNA and contemporary loosen the torsion, allowing ancestral or off-world codes in the DNA to express more fully. This is what we all got to do now. What's all happening to us now? Yeah, and how we've come together and we know we've got to stick. Yeah, we feel content, more tranquil, more like we're more solid together. Yeah, yeah. And let's say it's right. I'll find you all the time at the end. Yeah, all different ways. Aura strengthening, because ORME is superconductive. It helps tighten the auric field and makes the user less susceptible to low frequency implants or psychic drains. This is why the high priest scientists in Egypt, Sumer, Atlantis, Lyran worlds, etc., used it in small doses during initiations. It's a consciousness technology, not a drug. Around 2015-2016, there was a shift in aerosol programs. Up to then, heavy metal based chemtrails were common. A lot of the visible trails after all this were actually delivery systems for positive counteragents. Yeah, Sanya 2016. There was a shift in aerosol. Yeah, like they stepped it up and then we took over, and that's what we've been spraying ever since. Yeah, and considering they've been spraying you with crap since World War Two, what we've succeeded since 2016, 17 is beyond. Yeah, don't get that to totally clear it out. That is why our frequency is collaborating with shit. Yeah, and it's breaking the overlays down. It's fracturing the overlays. Yeah, and they're covering it up with stuff because you'll all freak out. A lot of people freak out if they see what's going on out there. Monatomic gold noble element mix. Small doses at high altitude act as frequency balancers over cities. They raise the Schumann resonance locally, so parasitic fields cannot be locked in. There's no parasites to lock into anything. They had their asses kicked, but it's what they've left behind. Yeah, what they've left behind is what we're healing and and cleansing. Yeah, because all the cleansing is helping with everyone's consciousness. Yeah, micronized plant enzyme compounds. Some of the new formulas contain plant alkaloids and enzymes designed to break down certain biofilms and nanotech residues in air and water. These do not affect normal humans but break down and weaken parasitic hybrids who walked among you, who rely on those biofilms to hide. Mycoplasma ionisation. Some crafts were also releasing ionised plasma, like a white mist that neutralises low density energy forms. Public sees planes or silver planes, but many of those are actually shape-shifting crafts or cloaked drones running on light grid instructions. So when Trump said we're going to spray them back, it was a coded way of saying the program has been flipped. No longer poison, but purging and stabilising. Quick tally up. ORME, orbitally rearranged monatomic elements. High spin superconductive noble element. They simulate the PNAL plus DNA plus strengthen the auric field. Since 2016, many aerosol releases are actually positive formulas, like I've been telling you, or for the last 4 years. Monatomic gold blends, plants, ionising agents, designed to clear parasites, hybrids and heavy energies while balancing the frequency grid. The planes are often light craft shape-shifting drones, disguised as commercial jets, etc., to avoid panic. Yeah? I was going to mention something there. Design. 2000. No. It's a small brain going through. Right. Types of crafts spraying. 1. Actual civilian planes, airliners, just commercial planes with normal contrails, but these are also formulas, sometimes deliberately routed along certain corridors to create grids of visible trails, but nothing exotic going on here. 2. Fleet of silver planes, morphing fleet. These are holographic cloaked craft operated by benevolent teams, mostly Syrian Arcturian hybrids with Polarian technology. They use adaptive skin, which means their outer field projects their image of an ordinary airliner or small jet dependent on altitude. This is done so the public doesn't panic and so military radar reads them as civilian traffic. 3. High altitude atmospheric builders. Long, thin craft that resembles tankers, not human built. They run on electroplasma drives. They do heavy frequency laying, monatomic gold, silica microstructures, etc. These can change signature mid-flight, appear, disappear, because they are phasing between bands. They're phasing in and out of overlays. It just flips in and out. Yeah. No, not one craft, yeah, when they comes in and out here, the real ones, yeah, then don't forget the prototype, all the ones what military, 95% of what you've seen all your life and on BitChute and YouTube, that's all military. The real ones, they come in and out, yeah, and they do a few little moves, and they don't fly out through portholes into space. No, they're just phasing in and out the other overlays, yeah. They knows where their world is. It's not far. Yeah, but you need these crafts. Yeah, to be in them to phase in out. Yeah, we can phase in out by using gateways and portals as well. I'm going to talk loads about vortexes and all that lot later. Yeah. We're talking, 3 high altitude atmospheric builders, long thin crafts that resembles tankers, not human built. They run on electroplasma drives. They do heavy frequency laying, monatomic gold, silica microstructures, etc. These can change signature mid-flight, appear, disappear, because they are phasing between bands. 4. Morph field shapeshifters. Not biological shapeshifters, but plasma-based hulls that can project any form passenger planes, military planes, or nothing at all. Used mostly in daytime to camouflage large operations of sky grid work. These are built from Polarian tech, a blend of living plasma and crystalline matrix that responds to command codes. Now listen, this is how I know, right? These people, when they go, I'm a grid worker, I'm doing these, because no one even knew about a grid till I mentioned. No one knew about it, yeah? And I know yet no one on the internet knew about a grid, because every time even the most top person what said they're a grid worker, they've drawn pictures of a square grid with lots of squares on a grid. They've drawn a grid. Yeah? No. Grids are webs. Where do you think we get the word web from? A grid is literally like a spider. It's shaped like a spider web, and there are nodes everywhere. And it's these nodes and crystals, yeah, and harmonic lenses. What I've explained to you all about, yeah. It's them what forms the webs, and each web collaborates with all the other webs on all the other overlays, like what you lot calls countries, yeah. Right, where do I get more field shapeshifters? I'll read that bit on. Polarian tech, a blend of living plasma and crystal. Yeah, let me read that a bit again. Not biological shapeshifters, but plasma-based hulls that can project and form passenger planes, military planes, or nothing at all. Used mostly in daytime to camouflage large operations or sky grid work. These are built from Polarian tech, a blend of living plasma and crystalline matrix that responds to command codes. 5. White disc buffer craft. Rarely seen except on very clear days. They fly above the silver plains controlling the ionosphere currents. They appear as bright dots or stars moving slowly then vanish. Why this camouflage exists? Most humans are not ready to see non-human craft operating openly. Commercial jet disguise keeps fear and military interception to a minimum. The tech itself requires a plasma sheath for the frequency laying. That sheath naturally bends light, which makes the shapeshifter effect. What you are seeing in the skies now is a mix of regular planes and cloaked benevolent crafts. The silver planes plus morphing planes are not spraying poison, they are stabilising the atmosphere. They appear like airliners to keep public calm. The true toxic program stopped years ago. Now, which one do you say? The Polarians. The Polarians were among the first stable humanoid templates seeded in the known lands before the parasites and before the current custodian period. They were woven out of the Syrian-Lyran harmonic field and carried a blueprint for tall, balanced, high vibrational humanoids. Their appearance, frequency, extremely tall, often over 10 to 12 feet. In their native plane, slender, slim, fair to almost luminous skin. Soft facial geometry. Their field is crystalline, meaning their skin and aura reflected light like snow or quartz. Their tech and allies. They carried out giant aligned technology, sonic towers, plasma grid stabilizers and bioluminal crafts. The Giants and Polarians were sister custodians of the first grid layouts before the parasitic inversion. Their tech is very similar. Both work with sound and resonance and living crystal rather than metal or combustion. Meet this world. Polarian's mission. In the known lands, they were grid architects and first farmers of harmonic seeds, including early whale, dolphin, feline and avian codes. When the parasites started infiltrating the Polarians, tried to keep the parasites started infiltrating the Polarians and tried to keep the overlays clean. Many Polarians, like and the Giants, were either withdrawn or shifted into other domes when the contamination became too strong. The Polarians are very significant to me because of their harmonic signatures. They overlap with my own families, my long Syrian lineage. They are one of the groups that prepared the house for the arrival of later solar seeds like myself. Polarians, tall, fair, slim, very ancient, working with giants and sound tech. This is the Polarians I know and remember. Beautiful, loving, caring, tranquil, kind beings. Let's get us onto that one and which man is going to see. Might be able to take that a little bit more actually. Loads of information. Yeah, this is the time to really wait because this is activation. Yeah? Doing this all for activation now. Yeah? Yeah? See the tactics, look, playing war, the army and that. Yeah? I'm not, I don't know, I'll tell you all. You need to know. Here we go, that's where I read that bit out again, yeah? Because now I've read that pad, because I started off like, I'm not going to go too far because I've done a couple of videos, haven't I? I'll tell you what, I'll tell them run through this one. Sonic grids, let me see. I'll read just some more pages. Alright. Yeah, I can wait up to that, yeah, because the need force one. Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, because this is quite interesting. Right, wormholes. I'll tell you about wormholes. Right? Wormholes. You've got to remember, right? Because some of you think, oh, I'm not just reading off a book. This is all mine. Yeah? This is all mine. Yeah? And I don't need to prove nothing because every thousands of you have watched me for 4 years and this is all the stuff I've been telling you. I've just we've updated the detail because we're going up in levels. The more we go up in levels, the more detail, the more clearer you get, the more you can remember stuff and it raises your frequency. Yeah. Right. Right. Wormholes. Wormholes. The living veins of creation. Before the parasites' overlays, before inversion, the lattice light was alive. Every realm, dome and world connected through shimmering light corridors of tone and current. These weren't tunnels through space as humans imagine. They were pathways through frequency. Yeah? Every wormhole was like a vein in the body of source, pulsing with information, emotion and energy. The ancient ones, Archon, used them as living passages. You didn't travel through them, you shifted through by resonance. I matched the tone and I arrived where and I arrived where that tone existed. I forget tones, like sound, yeah. Like I remembers all that before even sight, yeah. When the overlays fractured and the frequencies fell, many of these corridors collapsed at one end and becoming what 3D calls black holes. The fallen sealed end and white holes, the outflow, yeah. So like the fallen sealed end. Now white. This is what white holes equals the outflow or release. When the balance returns, when all harmonic grids align again, those falling gates reignite and the wormholes breathe once more, reconnecting the domes, worlds and overlays into one fluid light web grid. Wormholes are memory corridors. They link realms of consciousness, not distance. They are how the souls move through the lattice when they remember their frequency. What humans call black holes and wormholes out there in their 3D illusion, they're not holes at all. They are the veins of creation itself, the living corridors of sound and light, the pathways we once used long before this world fell asleep. Each one is a memory corridor. You don't travel through them by ships, crafts. You travel by tone, by resonance. You become the frequency of that destination. And you arrive where that tone lives. The parasites inverted this. They shut down one end of the living veins, turned gateways into dead ends, and called them black holes. But they're not dead. They're just sleeping. When all grids realign, when the domes and overlays sing in harmony again, those sealed ends will reopen again. The wormholes will breathe again. The living grids, webs will flow again. So remember this, my beautiful souls. There is no space, no distance, no separation, only resonance. We don't move through the web, we become the web. And when the song of all souls unites, the corridors light up and home finds us. What humans call a black hole is not gravity, and it's not a hole at all. It's a collapsed corridor, a frequency vortex, where energy once flowed between realms. Long ago, these were living conduits, bridges through spiral currents. But when parasitic overlays fractured the original grid, many of these gates lost their exit points. A black hole is the remnant of a broken portal, a vortex spinning on itself because its harmonic pair equals its white twin was sealed or inverted. It keeps pulling in light and sound because it's searching for its matching tone, and they're all matching up and rigging up, and that's why you've got all these like bright lights in the sky, these different ones. What ain't, you see, knows what I mean, yeah. Pulling the light and sound because it's searching for its matching tone. Inside there isn't nothingness, there's compressed potential, the unmanifest source waiting for reconnection. When higher civilizations rebuild the corridors, aligning nodes, frequencies and tones, they can be repaired into transport gates again. What humans misread as gravity, the 3D narrative, is the tension pool of mismatched harmonics. Now listen, if you pick gravity, just saying, like the 3D narrative thing again, right? Now let me stop. I'm going to look it up because listen to what it says about gravity. Right, inside there isn't nothingness. There's compressed potential, the unmanifest source waiting for reconnection. When higher civilizations rebuild the corridors, aligning nodes, frequencies and tones, they can be repaired into transport gates again. What humans misread as gravity equals 3D narrative is the tension pull of mismatched harmonics between domes, not a universal force. The collapse that forms a black hole is the moment a dome's node loses balance with the lattice around it. So in essence, a black hole equals a fallen porthole. A white hole equals its missing reflection. Together, they form a living corridor, a wormhole, when harmonics are restored. The harmonic tools. Yeah, I will go here. I'm going to read this bit, and do this bit. One, just a last little bit. Like harmonic tools of the old builders in Tartarian, Atlantean cycles. Yeah. So the harmonic tools that I've explained about building that. Yeah. I'll tell you why. I'm going to read this bit to you now. Yeah. I'll stop this one after. It's because what I'll talk about later on, orb force and thingy tone, like solar tone and that, it'll fall in. So yeah, read this one. Yeah, get this one out. I'm on a roll. Yeah. The harmonic tools of the old builders. In Tartarian, Atlantean cycles, the tools were extensions of consciousness, not devices. Drills, shovels, trowels, hammers, chisels, levels, machinery, etc. They responded to the resonance of the builder's mind. Field, voice and frequency worked as one. Number one, tuning rods. Resonance staffs. These look like rods of sceptres, often copper, gold or crystalline. They vibrated in sympathy with fork tone. The builder would hold one in each hand, create a harmonic hum, and the field around matter, stone, metal, even air, would soften slightly. That's how shaping happened. No carving, more like persuading matter to flow into form. 2. The sonic grids. Before any structure was raised, the foundation area was sung into phase. Teams of builders would stand around marked circles, chant specific tones, and imprint a standing wave into the ground. This became the invisible scaffolding that gave Tartarian domes and Atlantean pylons their impossible stability. Each harmonic matched planetary ley lines. Planetary equals like planet equals plant, the plane. Yeah. So when that mentions like planets, not talking like planets or planetary like in the sky, plant. Yeah. The plane. 3. Crystalline matrices. Atlantean builders used lattice crystals that stored harmonic codes. These were placed at nodes in walls or beneath floors. They worked like amplifiers, keeping the resonance pure, so the building stayed alive, literally breathing light. When overlays fell, these crystals either fractured or were buried. That's why ruins feel drained. 4. Water plus mercury channels. Mercury, not used how it is here. It's more advanced and more beneficial. We do not put it in our vessels or any other type of form. Beneath many sites ran thin channels of water or liquid mercury, not decoration but conduction. They carried the frequency of the building through the grid, linking domes to one another, forming a kind of acoustic internet long before the metallic one. 5. The breath codes. Perhaps the most sacred tool of all builders, trained to exhale through specific vowels and measured tempos. Think of it as a sonic geometry, each vowel carved an angle of resonance. Where multiple voices combined, you could etch light into air. These was not separate trades. They were aspects of one discipline, harmonic architecture. This is why I remember sound before sight. the form always followed the tone. And then it goes into the what is all false, yeah? But leave it there, because we're on 40 minutes, alright? But there we go. Nice and calm that was cool. I quite enjoyed that myself even. But, you know, I'll just recap, I'll probably even recap on some of the other pads, yeah? But like, there's loads, I've got loads of there. I'm going to run you through what a true twin is, yeah? I'm going to explain it. I'm using me and Vern as example, but it's what happens to you all. Yeah, not just me and Vern. I'm going to explain your twin. Yeah, but I'm going to use Vernie and me as example. Yeah, it's one of the things. Like, you know, one of the advantages. Yeah, but it's like say, don't forget, not one of us come here to find love and romance. We didn't come here to find love and romance. It's something a lot bigger. Alright? Listen, I love you, brothers and sisters. Yeah, I'll be back soon.